Welcome to Cruising Altitude, the podcast where we rise above the turbulence of life and step into the freedom, clarity, and luxury of living life at our highest level. I'm Kelly O'Shea, business development consultant, private jet advisor, investor relations specialist, author, solo mom, and living proof that you can crash into life's turbulence, pick up the pieces, and still arrive in style. Whether you're navigating business, healing, or building a life that feels limitless, this is your boarding pass to living a life you were brave enough to chase. So buckle up, we're ready for takeoff. Welcome back to Cruising Altitude season finale, episode 10, The Sunshine State. I'm here today with David Brauntz, the CEO and founder of Hudson Brauntz, a digital marketing and SEO specialist, and a new business partner of mine, a real business partner. David, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Super excited.
Of course. So, David, I've known you for a little while now, and I know about the unfortunate turbulence you've been through in your life. So tell the viewers a little bit about the turbulence that we're now above.
Well, so 8.5 years ago, my wife was pregnant with twins, Hudson and Emerson, and we were just cruising along, at 32 weeks, and at 32 weeks, it was time for just a regular, checkup, 32-week checkup. And I was on a sales appointment. The wife said, "Oh yeah, I got this." So she went to the doctors for her checkup, and I got a phone call. I couldn't understand what the wife was saying. I said, "Please pass over the phone to the nurse. I can't understand you." And the nurse was saying, "We can't find your son's heartbeat. You need to come and get your wife and get to the hospital, immediately." And I don't even know how I got from my appointment to get her to, it was all a blur, yeah. Right? And we got to the hospital, and roughly like 2 hours later, they confirmed that we lost our little boy Hudson.
I'm so sorry.
But we still had Emerson in the womb as well. So, we're like, right. What are we doing with Emerson? What's going on here? And obviously emergency hospital bed rest. And they were doing bunch of tests to see what is the next move. And roughly, 2 weeks or so later, they said, "Hey, I think it's time to we got to get Emerson out of there. It's I think it's time." So that was a very stressful night. The night before, I couldn't sleep a wink. Obviously, we were just so like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on here?" But that next morning. It was just I want no one to go through what we went through. Mm. So it was a C-section. So they pulled out Hudson. So we already knew he passed, but we didn't know what was going to go on with Emerson. And obviously the plan was to get her to NICU ASAP. So when they pulled out Emerson, she gave the tiniest little whimper, and we said, "All right. Let's get her to the NICU ASAP." God. So we got her into the NICU. As soon as she was stable, then the grieving folks at the hospital encouraged us to say our goodbyes to Hudson. So they prepped up Hudson, had him dressed, cleaned him up, and he honestly looked like a perfect little boy. Like, I'm like, how is this guy? How's Hudson going? Like, he looked like a perfect, beautiful little baby.
Aww.
So we got to say our goodbyes. We had our family come, and we were in our hospital room saying our goodbyes to Hudson for easily 8-10 hours. Just saying our goodbyes, sign of the cross, just making sure that he's gonna have everybody watch out for him. And so then late at night when the folks come from the funeral home, oh my gosh, talk about just a roar of just crying, because to see this little tiny box for them to put him in, like it just, oh my gosh, it was horrible. So so Hudson, he's at the funeral home. So, but really we're now like, what do we got to do? We got to save our daughter now. Like she's in the NICU, and so we're at the NICU, you know, every day, every hour, you know, for a good month or so. And during that time, you know, I quit my job. I just focused on family. I couldn't sell at the
Right.
time, so I'm just focusing on family, making sure that our daughter is gonna make it. And at a little over a month or so, she was able to get up to 4 pounds, and it was time to send her home. And please know, I was even more freaked out at that moment because now
Right.
I don't have all those amazing nurses in the NICU to help me out.
Right, I remember that.
So, you know, so when we left, you know, that was even so much more nerve-wracking.
Right.
But, you know, we're home, and you know, my daughter's okay, and you know, my wife and I, you know, we're trying our best to heal and just to you know, just pick up, you know, where we're at, and just keep moving forward, right? And it was you know, months and months down the road, and my wife, she was feeling okay now as far as being able to watch Emerson, and you know, that when you get those C-sections, I mean, you know, she was in a lot of pain, so
Yeah.
it was good to have me there to pick her up or to do whatever. But then it was time to, you know, for me to go back to work. My wife was like, you know, I'm okay. I got Emerson. I think it's time for you to get back to work, but I don't want you to just go and just be, you know, another salesman for another digital marketing agency. I know that your clients love you. I know that you know digital marketing like the back of your hand. I've been doing digital marketing before that for at least 8 years, or 7 years, sorry, 7 years. And she goes, I'd like to name the company Hudson Brauntz Digital, so it's his legacy, and it's our footprint that we can work on. And, you know, I was fighting away the tears. I was like, baby, I love that. That's a great
Yeah,
idea. Yes,
great.
yes. And I was ready to go. And she's like, Mo, hold on. Let's do what you always tell your clients, you know, be digitally ready day one. So we went through the entire process of you know, of launching our business.
Mm-hmm.
And in September of 17, we launched September 13th of 2017.
Nice.
And we hit the ground running, and it's been amazing. And you know, here I am in year 8, having my best year ever,
Wonderful.
and it's just super amazing that we, you know, have legacy, Hudson's legacy for Hudson Brauntz Digital, and naming it after our son. And
growing at the same time
growing
as
at the
Emerson,
same, yeah,
so it's easy to remember the
yes,
years
yes,
of each.
yes, right,
That's so
right.
cool. I love that. That's a really great way to protect his legacy. And I think you're going to be in business for a long time, because as I've learned of the past 2 years in switching to business development, right, and not just PR, I've really learned that there is, and brands know this now, there's a lot of fluff out there when it comes to PR and branding. And
Sure.
I think when it comes down to it, an essential component of any campaign is digital marketing, I believe. So tell the viewers, to you, what is digital marketing?
So I want to dumb it down as completely just so you can understand it, like it's so easy to understand. So digital marketing is truly I'm helping build your online trust factor. That's truly what digital marketing is. So if anybody finds you out there on the World Wide Web, I want to make sure it's a great first impression from the get-go. Making sure that, you know, we got your brand, you know, the logo, the branding right. You know, do you have an email address that's branded to the business? You know, what about the content writing? You know, making sure that we're telling your story right. And then after that, now we can do the website design. We can do the website development, the website hosting. Then we got to encourage a lot of reviews, right? That's how you build your online trust factor as well. I mean, how many restaurants, or really any business that you're going to go potentially use, you're always looking at how many reviews do they have? How many great 5-star reviews do they have, right? So, you know, that's another piece of making sure that their online trust factor is locked and loaded. And then, you know, obviously, after that, it's the you know, the paid. So, you know, you got a great foundation. Now, you know, let's do the off-page SEO. Let's do backlinks. Let's get you in Google's good graces even more, right?
Yeah.
And then again, it just more and more. So then, you know, once you got that great foundation, really, you know, now you can do anything under the sun. You know, So that's digital marketing. That
Okay.
is how it is.
Okay, no, that's great. And, again, I think in the last episode I talked about this too. Like, in terms of business development, I'm learning, for me, it's more like being a campaign manager, essentially, right? For businesses and brands that, not necessarily startups, but maybe rebuilding after COVID. Maybe they haven't, maybe they let their entire marketing department go and they don't know necessarily yet what's out there, right? And so for me, I think I learned more about what's out there as I launched my book, because that was the first thing in a while that I had my hands on that was really a, mass consumption product, right? A consumer product, not necessarily for ultra high net worth. And it felt like I had to have social media really to drive the sales. And that overwhelms me a lot. So, it's, and I think a huge component though is the digital marketing, right? And that's what I'm getting at. Like, I think if the clients want to see immediate, and even partnerships and events, relationships, all of that, they take time. They take a lot of time. And I think if people want to see immediate results, I think the number one thing is getting your website first and foremost, right? Making sure the roots are there.
Yeah, yes, you need a great foundation.
Yeah.
You need that foundation before you do anything else.
Right, exactly. So walk me through your scope of services.
Okay. So logo creation, brand strategy. So that's making sure that we have, your color palettes down, the fonts, the logo. I mean, truly, it really matters, what your logo looks like, right? Yeah. We're trying our best to tell your story through your branding. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of going over that a little bit. So once you got the logo and brand strategy locked and loaded, really it's all about the content writing next. Not only Google and not only the search engines, but AI is paying attention to what is on your website, right? So we got to make sure that it's built not just for your customers, but also built for Google as well as the AI platforms that they're going to pick your website up.
Yeah.
So content writing really means so much this day and age, and just doing the basics, again, it's just not going to get picked up. They really want to see great content, and they don't want to see AI generated. They want to see real content writing from you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So if we can help tell their story, that's going to put them in front of their competition by, leaps and bounds.
Right.
And then once you got the content writing completed, that's when we do build the website, right? So it's just so much easier to build a website when you've got great content. Mm-hmm. So, we do the website design, the website development. So on the back end, making sure that we are properly adding the on-page SEO coding, making sure it's coded properly so it's indexed properly by Google. Mm-hmm. And again, the AI platforms to make sure that, again, you can have a beautiful website, but if it's not built on the back end the right way, it's never going to be found, right?
Right.
So, all of our websites definitely come with not only website design, website development, but the on-page SEO too. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, the last couple of things are, reviews. I want to make sure that all my websites, they come with a review program. So we're encouraging reviews from the get-go. Mm-hmm. And then that's when you can focus. Now that that's cranking, my customers typically say, okay, what's our next move? And that's when you do the off-page SEO. And the off-page SEO is having a great backlink strategy, mm-hmm. A high domain authority score backlink strategy. So Google will grade every site out there from 1 to 100.
Okay.
And so if we're putting great articles about your business, backlinking your website on this article, on a very trustworthy site that Google has ranked well, mm-hmm. that's going to help, again, get yourself on an awesome, a high-ranking domain authority score backlink, which, again, that's what Google wants to see. Okay. So just think of it this way. We do everything on page. So the blog writing, the on-page SEO, the header 1, header 2, header 3, header 4. Again, Google has everything on page, but what are we doing away from your website to make your website relevant? And that's the backlinking strategy. Mm-hmm. So okay. That's what really helps. And then lastly, if folks want to see some movement immediately and not wait a couple of months for the SEO to kick in, that's when we can do the Google AdWords. But I would never do a Google AdWords campaign without a location extension, mm-hmm. basically getting your maps out there further.
Right. Okay.
So
that makes sense.
But the biggest piece is I never will ever ask my clients to do something that I'm not personally doing for my own business. I just mentioned my whole scope of work. I literally did all of that from the get-go. The logo creation, brand strategy, told my story. Heck, in 8 years, we've told our story numerous times on the website. I've changed my website at least 3 times because when we first launched, it was so fresh and so now, and we couldn't really tell our story just yet as far as losing Hudson.
Right.
And it wasn't for a few years later that we updated our About Us and told the story more.
Yeah.
But again, everything that we do, the content writing, the website design, development, the on-page SEO, review program, and then the off-page SEO and paid link strategy, paid with the location extension. I'm doing all that. Mm-hmm. So I would never ask my clients to do something that I'm not personally doing for my own business.
Right.
And I feel like that is very important because there is, like you said earlier, a lot of fluff out there. Mm-hmm. You know, the impressions and clicks, but is that turning into folks in the office?
Yeah,
right. Is that
like,
turning into butts in the seats, right?
Right.
So, you know, I'm only going to ask them what I truly feel works best for this day and age, for 2025 of November, right?
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
But everything could change tomorrow, right? That's what's so
Right.
exciting about digital marketing. And especially with the big AI, you know, getting my folks on all the different AI platforms, mm-hmm. super exciting. But again, it could change tomorrow. But I'll be ready.
Right.
I'm going to always make sure that I'm doing best practices for my clients.
No, that's
as
good.
well as myself.
That was my next question. What do you? I mean, how do you see with AI? So how do you see digital marketing evolving now with AI? Do you and you must have to like kind of keep your finger on the pulse of that every day, right?
All right. So again, right now, okay? So
Today.
This could change tomorrow. By the time this podcast launches, who knows?
Right.
We're a few months away from the launch. But right now, we want to make sure that we're adding a lot of FAQs to all your service pages.
Okay.
And truly, if I can sit down with the client and really do a deeper dive on their true FAQs, you can do FAQs in 2 seconds, right? You go to ChatGPT, give me some FAQs for the said service. But if I can actually get some really well thought out real FAQs that they're typically getting from their clients for said service, that's going to definitely get the AI platforms excited that they see some fresh new information
right.
about this said service. So FAQs are huge right now. Making sure that we have your Bing optimized, your Bing places optimized properly, mm-hmm. the high-ranking domain authority, backlinks. These are all best practices to get found and to get brand mentions on the AI platforms. And I typically can get that in about 30 days mm-hmm. for my clients. So again, that's right now.
Right.
Who knows? In a few months, maybe there's more hoops I got to jump through. But I promise you, I'm always going to make sure that we're doing what is the best practice right now to get my clients found.
I think that's so smart because I think that I really had to do that also the past 2 years, right? So ever since I've been like recognizing that PR is changing and tried to evolve my agency, you know, I bought press in the beginning to see what that did, you know, bought some followers in the beginning to see what that did. And then, you know, tried out a branding agency, did a little coaching, and, you know, I've interviewed a lot of social media agencies. So there's a lot out there. And then now I'm working with a lot of different women who are focusing on, you know, events and bringing for ultra high net worth. I think they're doing the right thing with like getting investors there who can actually be interested in what, you know, I'm selling essentially.
Sure.
So there's lots of different ways to go about it. And but now I feel so much more confident in that business development capacity, having done all those things myself, right? And that's what the client is paying for. These are doctors and business owners and lawyers and you know, CEOs. They're not necessarily well versed on everything. And you know, like I was saying to you, I have you, and then now thankfully I also have someone that can do social media, because I think that's a big thing to also outsource, because how are business owners supposed to know every day the algorithm is changing? And that's the thing, it's hiring experts so we don't have to do all that guesswork on our own.
You know, one thing I pride myself on is making sure that I'm only focusing on those 5 services.
Mm-hmm.
When I first launched Hudson Brauntz Digital, we also did offer social media, and that's a whole other animal in itself, right?
Yes.
So I pivoted just 3 months in. I'm like, we're never going to grow with the website. The websites are really where my passion is, right? Web design and SEO, and I was never going to be able to grow my website design and SEO piece because social media was just so time consuming. I wanted to make sure that I crushed it for the clients. I'm at their place, every single day, helping them document the different pictures of the food and whatnot. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is a lot.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, time out. Okay, I'm gonna pivot away. I really would rather work with the web design and SEO. I'm gonna pivot. And I would say in my 8 years, I've pivoted from a couple of different services just because they just weren't the best fit.
Right.
But again, I would never want to work with a digital marketing agency that literally does every single service, because oh my gosh, every single service, really, you got to have some dedicated folks doing that. And if you got folks just kind of doing everything under the sun, I mean, it's just, you're not going to get the best out of what you're paying for.
Right.
So I personally just want to stick with, my, what's it called? In my wheelhouse.
Yes.
There you go.
No, it's true. And it's so easy. I mean, there is, like I said, a lot of different ways there's a lot of ways for a brand to achieve awareness, and for me that's always been my goal. And but like, again, I've had to really stay aware to how to go about doing that, and then learn how to delegate, because no, I can't do a lot of those things myself. I mean, even when I first had Dylan, and Magellan tried to fire me for the first time. Well, they did for a year. And so I went on to go get baby brands. And then this woman said that she would pay us more if we could also do digital marketing. And I was like, yeah, we can do that. Oh, it was really hard, though. So to learn something new while you're trying to offer that was challenging.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And then also social media. I mean, and so but for me, that was when I realized that I didn't want to offer those services. And I was going to continue to go traditional media for me as much as I could. Sure. And then hire staff to do all the digital component. But then you get to this world where now there is no real relationships with the media. So for me, though, I've translated that into sales, right? And it makes sense for me. But
and who doesn't love sales?
Exactly.
I swear, I love meeting new people, right?
Yes.
And I think that's what sets me apart from other salespeople. I truly love meeting everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
And then I get to hear their story and understand what their business is all about, and then I can't wait to get them out there even more. Right. So it's fun. I want to help, and I want to just get them out there as best I can, and at a great price that they're seeing big time wins and big time ROIs, right?
Yeah, I love it. And then, so you're from Cincinnati, and you have some clients there. So, but tell me, how's things been for you in South Florida, and are you happy here?
Oh,
excited for all the business opportunities coming our way?
Of course. I'm from Cincinnati. I'm Midwest nice, right? Mm-hmm. So definitely down here in Florida, they can tell that I'm not from Florida.
Yes.
They're like, you're really nice. And
yes,
I'm like, yeah, well, I'm from Cincinnati. I'm the Midwest guy. So I'm the Midwest nice guy. What is it? What's I'm in a B&I networking group, and you have to have a tagline after you talk about, your 60-second commercial. And I'm the website guy who's Midwest nice. That's my tagline. And it's catchy, it's fun. But it's been awesome. So, being remote, it's so easy to still reach out to all my clients up in Cincinnati, mm-hmm. and do Zoom calls, Google Meets, whatever, right? But then down here to have these, I get to work in my backyard. I'm on my back lanai. I'm looking at palm trees. My pool's right there. I mean, pitch me. How is this my life now?
Right.
I love what I do for a living, and I now live in paradise. I mean, I'm living the dream.
Exactly. And I say that every day. And, I have a gratitude practice that is, my health, my son, my dog, my house, and my car. And that home is in Jupiter, Florida. It makes me so grateful because, even when things got rough and things got tight, you can always go to the beach. And, even like me learning to lean in, this has been really good. This consistency has been good for Dylan, my son, to stay in the same house from kindergarten to the end of high school. But it's also been good for me to lean into the community. And, he had his birthday party this weekend and we had, his friends' parents come over and offer to help. And, it's nice. And so, that's what I really wanted for him. It made me so happy his 10th birthday to have 8 boys that really love him, over.
Sure.
And I moved around a lot as a child. And I just think that this will provide him with this safety and consistency that a child is most capable of thriving. So.
That's awesome. Blessed.
Yes,
Truly blessed.
Exactly. And you have a daughter, and Emerson is how old now?
She's eight and
Right,
a half.
8.
Yeah. 8.5. Yeah.
8.5.
Yeah.
And so you're going through the...
She's my little mini me, right? So, my wife always says, oh my gosh, Bronzy, not only do I have to deal with you, deal with your mini me, but we also then just got a golden retriever puppy, and he's 9 months old now, and he is just like me as well,
Oh,
just
nice.
high
Oh,
energy.
gosh, your poor wife.
So, yeah,
Just
so we
kidding.
got a lot of high energy in the house, and God bless my wife for dealing with us, yes.
Oh, all right, awesome. Well, thank you again, David. And tell me, where can people find you?
You can call me. I'm old school. I'm 50 years old, people. Yes, you can text, but pick up the phone. Give me a shout, 513-257-6398. You can check out my website, hudsonbrauntz.com. But again, I'm not afraid to pick up that phone and say hello.
Yay. We love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And this was going to air in January. So Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
And I'm off for a little bit to record my audiobook, and then we'll be back for season 2 soon.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Stevie.
Thank you so much. Thank you.